To produce 1 minute of video takes the same energy as 5.5 hours of streaming Netflix.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
To me as a consumer, I don't think of that at all.
The incentive now is to make money. The incentive now is not to implement AI correctly.
You've written a book on it. You left that behind and now you're working on Argentum.
My goal is to find the team in this world that builds the most advanced, energy efficient AI. And I'm looking for someone that can do it 2 million times cheaper. 2 million.
You're looking for someone smarter than you.
We're offering $1 million prize to the team that does that.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tech It or Leave It. We're at Hack Seasons here in Abu Dhabi alongside Abu Dhabi Finance Week, Bitcoin Mina, Solana Breakpoint. There's a lot going on in the UAE this week, this month. We are here with
Clark Alexander, Chief AI Officer at Argentum AI.
Glad to have you here, Clark. You are, I don't know, we've been talking for about 20 minutes before the pod, and I've learned so much about what you as a person are doing beyond Argentum, but I'd like to know a bit of both on this pod. But I think I want to start off by you giving an introduction on your background, your experience, how you ended up at Argentum AI, and a quick intro on Argentum, if you can squeeze that into.
Yeah, I'll do as quick as I can.
Yeah.
I'm a mathematician by training, mathematics and physics, but my PhD is in mathematics. And then for a long time, I tried to make it in the professor world, and I graduated in 2008. So there was sort of a financial crisis, and it just was like a grind. It was a grind. And after about 10 years, a friend of mine brought me into automation and AI, and so I sort of made the leap into industry there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, our founder CEO, Andrew Sobko, had a supply chain logistics company. I ended up working with him because he was working with the same guy. And I joined them, and then recently we started Argentum AI to do decentralized compute. So that's a short route how I got here.
So you said you moved into AI after that 2008 financial crisis when it was a grind. How early were you on AI?
No, way late. I mean, like 2017 was when I actually finally stopped in academics and went into industry. Yeah. So I've only been in industry maybe 9 years. 8 years, 9 years.
And I'm assuming it was a thought in your head always, right? Like
no, I was stupid and stubborn. You'd blame it on my 20s and 30s. I was still trying to make professor tenure. I was still trying to make it, and I almost made it at a small college, and it just didn't work out. And so.
And you said you went to Northwestern, right?
Yeah.
For your PhD.
Correct.
What were when you were studying for your PhD in mathematics, right? Is that the?
Yeah, that's correct.
Was that the goal? Was to just be a tenured professor?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Yeah, because my advisor founded the field that I studied, non-commutative geometry, and his advisor started quantum computing. Yuri Manin started the whole industry of quantum computing, but they were like so academic. Everything was academic, and that was kind of the plan. I wasn't prepared for any industrial academic stuff. Yeah. Because they're so high up in the field, and I'm like the academic black sheep. Like, he's like, that kid's like good at math, but he's not elite. He's decent, I guess.
Don't say that on the pod, man.
They signed off on my papers because I proved the thing, and they're like, eh.
The great Yuri Menon said he's not that special?
You should meet some of Manin's other students.
Okay, fair enough.
Including my advisor, So
you mentioned the word quantum. I wasn't going to talk about it, but talk to me more about, where you see quantum today. You said something interesting before the pod. I don't know if you can talk about it here.
Yeah.
But you said a few things about quantum that are interesting, and I think it'd be interesting for everyone to.
Well, let's I'll say what I can say legally. I guess the point is this. In 2023, I really soured on quantum computing because I started going back and doing the actual physics of it.
Okay.
Right. I taught in 2017. I wrote a book and I taught it at DePaul University.
Okay.
On quantum computing.
DePaul University in
Chicago.
DePaul. Oh, DePaul. I thought you were in
Paul. Yeah. Sorry. A lot of background noise here. No, DePaul University in Chicago. I wrote and taught a book on quantum algorithms for undergrads. And they work. And here's the thing that I've learned, and this will get into Argentum AI. The real problem in quantum computing is that quantum computers are physical devices that operate on physical rules.
Yeah.
Computers and algorithms are mathematical things that operate on mathematical rules. And the physical rules and the mathematical rules most of the time work together until you get to the quantum level, and then they're separate sets of rules.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is designing mathematical stuff to work on physical devices, and there's a barrier there.
Yeah.
There's an energy barrier, and there's like a rule of physics that's blocking us from being able to actually do this past a certain point of precision.
Yeah.
So quantum computers can do some stuff.
Yeah.
But the way it's going to happen in the future is going to have to be specialized hardware built out for specialized problems.
Yeah.
There's not going to be universal quantum computation. It can't be. It's not an opinion, it's just a physical rule. The idea is we can simulate quantum stuff on classical devices on GPUs actually.
Yeah.
And so Argentum, we'll get into this in just a moment, but Argentum it's a decentralized compute marketplace. And so one of our earliest adopters is a company out of the Netherlands and France called Molket.
Yeah.
And they're doing quantum simulations. And one of our ideas is to try to push back quantum simulation advantage by decentralizing that. It's heavily parallelizable.
Yeah.
That's the advantage of quantum computing.
Yeah.
Well, that's literally what we're trying to do. So you want molecular simulations, we're trying to get this past the point where a quantum computer with, say, 100 qubits could actually do it, even if it theoretically were fault tolerant.
Wow.
So I was just in Egypt 3 months ago for the National Quantum Hackathon of Egypt. And even the guys from IBM Quantum in MENA region were saying that up to 100 qubits, everything is simulatable.
Yeah.
IBM now has 156 qubits, but they have to use so much of error correction. GPUs don't need error correction. We can go precision as much as we want. We can get past the uncertainty limit in quantum.
That's insane.
I can give 30 decimal places accuracy, no problem, on a digital computer. Quantum computer, it's like it cuts off. At 35 decimal places, it just cuts off.
So interesting.
There's no more readout.
So you've written a book on this, right? On this specific
Well, not published, but yes.
Okay. So you left that behind and now you're working on Argentum. Tell me a bit about why Argentum is the problem you want to solve now.
Well, I think in my wanderings, I've touched on a lot of industries. I've done credit, and I've traded electricity, and I've traded stocks, and I've worked on data science, and I worked for a credit company doing fraud detection, and I've done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And my most recent venture just before Argentum was in renewable energy IP.
Okay.
And when I'm looking at how AI is implemented at the moment, it seems that a lot of AI is done very inefficient. And a lot of this is because this is how it has to be for economic reasons.
Okay.
The idea is, if you see these crazy diagrams of NVIDIA giving OpenAI, giving Microsoft, giving NVIDIA, giving Microsoft, giving OpenAI, you're like, you can't follow it. It's like, no business runs like this.
No.
The incentive now is to make money. The incentive now is not to implement AI correctly. My incentive is to implement AI correctly, because what I see from an energy perspective, we're going to top out. There's only so much energy we can produce in the whole world.
Yeah.
And GPUs are going to eat all those.
Yeah.
Unless you cut down the way that the compute is actually done. Okay, so what we're going to announce this weekend, and maybe I'll announce it here on the pod, we're launching Project Saturn in January. And my goal is to find the team in this world that builds the most advanced energy efficient AI. And I'm looking for someone that can do it 2 million times cheaper than OpenAI. 2 million.
How do you come up with that factor?
Well, back of the envelope calculation shows me I can do it 1 million times cheaper, but I can't implement it on my own.
Yeah.
We need a team to do this. But
wow.
Choice of language, choice of hardware, storage, and then like actual compute algorithms for the multiplication of matrices.
Yeah.
You have to get to that level.
Yeah.
But you can really cut it down. So, I mean, I don't want to get too technical on it, but a lot of it is just matrix multiplication.
Okay.
But there are some interesting techniques which make that so much faster, and they're recent. They're recent, but you have to specify it at the matrix size. Secondly, you store less information. So cut your storage costs down, it cuts down your calculations.
Yeah.
Then use the right language, right? All these, I can get to about 1 million.
Yeah.
I want someone more clever than me, or a team of people who actually really know how to do this to go 2 million. That's what I'm going for.
You're looking for someone smarter than you. To
A team of people who can do better. Yeah.
So it's not just optimism. You believe that factor is achievable by.
Yeah, I think I have the numbers to show 1 million is possible.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can get past it myself. So, but we're offering $1 million prize to the team that does that.
And that's Project Saturn.
Project Saturn, yeah.
Okay. So our pod won't be out by the time you guys announce it officially. So hopefully after the fact, we can introduce some of you guys to Project Saturn. And if you're watching this pod and you can reduce the cost, or if you can increase efficiency by a factor of 2 million, reach out to our
$1 million. Absolutely.
Clark,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm dead serious about this.
Yeah.
And I'm not restricting it to large language models. I'm not restricting it to small language models, neuromorphic, quantum, you name it. I want the best model.
Yeah.
I'm not wed to any particular way of doing AI. I just know it can be done better.
Yeah.
Part of what decentralized compute does is that it alleviates a bunch of things. It reduces energy consumption. It shores up a lot of the GPU shortages.
Yeah.
We just don't even believe this exists.
Yeah.
We got 20,000 GPUs ready to go
Wow.
from different players.
Yeah.
That's the idea. So the marketplace, Hamed has extra compute he wants to do. I have something to sell.
Yeah.
So you go to a marketplace, but also our friend Hamed over here, other Hamed has more compute. You go, we have an AI that does the auction for you. Okay, so you come in, say, I want to run this application. I'm going to train my own small language model.
Yeah.
So, well, I could offer you my compute. You could get his, or you could get this Neo Cloud that we have also backing us.
Yeah.
And I'll bid to see how long it could take. We have a resource estimator, and then it's just an auction. So it drives your price down.
Yeah.
It drives your wait time down.
Yeah.
It gets capacity immediately. I mean, decentralized compute it puts a big dent in a lot of these problems. It doesn't solve everything, but it really improves. It ameliorates a lot of things, not everything, but it really goes. And so I'm pushing that envelope.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
All the way.
And I don't know how well you're familiar with the landscape, at least on the Web3 side of things. You have people like Akash Network, you have Gradient, there's some other competitors out there that are trying to do that decentralized compute marketplace. How would you say you differentiate against your competitors?
I think there's a couple easy ways to say, I really like what a bunch of those guys are doing. And I've met a bunch of them, and I think they're super smart guys doing interesting stuff. I think we're enterprise grade ready now. It seems to me like a lot of those guys are specialized in certain things,
Yeah.
which is great. And Render Network is one that I really like. But we're not restricting ourselves to visual effects rendering. I mean, I'm talking to a video game manufacturer now, so that we can do some of their AI for them. We can do some of the visual rendering, but we got quantum simulations. I got a portfolio optimizer on the Toronto Stock Exchange already on. That's EvoVest. They're going to use our platform.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just AI.
Yeah.
We're not, and I don't say this dismissively. We're not restricting ourselves to AI.
Yeah.
It's all of scientific compute. You want to do computational fluid dynamics?
Yeah.
So Boeing, Airbus, welcome. Any Formula One team, Formula Two, Formula 3. I mean, I think there's an Emirati racer here, the Kobayashi sisters. I would really like their teams to come on our platform, because we're here in Abu Dhabi. They're here in Abu Dhabi. Kobayashi sisters, give me a call. We'll get you guys set up, get your AI needs done.
Yeah.
But I'm for all like compute heavy stuff. So there's not a GPU shortage. We've shored up the GPUs.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking for interesting people to do interesting stuff.
Yeah. And so earlier backstage, we were talking about Nano Banana, and you had some interesting opinions on the compute that it takes to actually to do that image rendering or video rendering and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just saw a guy actually ran the numbers. He did the work for me, but he says, how much, he did it for Sora, not for Nano Banana, but Sora, to produce 1 minute of video takes about the same energy as 5.5 hours of streaming Netflix.
Oh my God.
So I'm looking to reduce that.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
To me as a consumer, I don't think of that at all, right? And
it's not incumbent on you as a consumer to think of that.
Yeah.
Right? It's incumbent on the companies implementing this to do this. But from my perspective, they're trying to drive investment. And they say, we need more energy, we need more power, we need more GPUs. And right now, that's what drives the money.
Yeah.
They come in and say, oh, we could do this 1,000,000 times cheaper. Well, their investments shrink by 6 orders of magnitude. 100%. Why would you do that? If you're a business, that's a dumb decision.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to come in and say, like, my business is not that. My business is trying to improve the AI and the computing itself.
Yeah. So the energy side of things, you see all these governments around the world coming in and subsidizing energy just because they want all the data centers to be, operating on their, sovereign soil. Like the US is subsidizing heavily in the Texas and different states. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, everyone wants that energy access for the GPU data centers. How does Argentum sort of tackle the energy side of things? Is there an opportunity for you guys to be working with governments at this level?
So we're working on a major municipality that part of it is that we're trying to get some data residency requirements. So yes, we're interested in working with governments.
Yeah.
Project Saturn, one of the tests I'm going to run for it is simultaneous translation into many multiple languages.
Yeah.
So we're looking at say European Parliament, South Africa, India, places that have many multiple languages spoken. So those are some things that we see could be happening. Now, I'll step back to the energy. I want to give you one data point. I've said this a bunch of times, but a few years ago I was interviewing at Oak Ridge National Lab in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, for their quantum machine learning group. And at that time, they were building what was the world's largest supercomputer, now second, Frontier, and also most energy efficient per computation by leagues, the best that had ever been built.
Okay.
And the guy directing the installation was one of my interviewers, and he said, "Do you know why we didn't build it twice as big? Is because we couldn't afford the energy bill." And they worked for the Department of Energy. So for me, it made like energy is not the thing we kind of think about on the back end. It used to be like speed and memory.
Yeah.
And now energy has sort of gone from like this not consideration to the only consideration.
Yeah.
Speed and memory, no one cares.
It's the people like you that are thinking about the energy problem. Right?
Well, that's coming straight from the Department of Energy, right?
Yeah.
They're telling me how important their energy usage is.
Yeah.
Well, and they're doing like weather predictions. They're not a small player. They're the world's largest player.
Yeah.
And that's their major metric.
Wow.
Right? So that sort of like flipped the light switch for me. It's like, oh, this is the place to do it. Now, how does decentralized compute do it? Was super easy example. If you have one GPU at your house, you can probably cool it with a fan.
Yeah.
But if you put 10,000 GPUs together, you can't cool it with 10,000 fans. You can't.
Yeah.
But the other piece is this. When you link up 10,000 fans, even if you could do it with 10,000 fans, the energy you need to make sure that you don't like burn out the circuits, you have to put a whole lot of extra infrastructure, and it's a lot more energy. The energy doesn't scale linearly. And this is also from Oak Ridge. Now, the number of calculations as you go square, the energy consumption goes cube.
Okay.
That's why it scales so badly.
Wow.
Now, decentralized compute, if I can run a GPU here and a GPU here, it's, you know, that cubic scaling is much less. I can cool with one fan over here, one fan over there, drawing from different power sources.
Yeah. But if you put them all together.
If you put them together, it's a nonlinear feedback effect that works against you.
Wow.
Decentralized compute works for you in that way, in that particular way.
That's so interesting. So interesting. I'm going to be cautious of time here because I feel like I could talk to you for a long time just because I'm learning so much as we're speaking.
Let's do another episode soon.
We'll do another episode.
Totally happy. Yeah.
Man, I'm really excited to see how Project Saturn turns out, and then some of the stuff that you guys are launching on the municipality front, the energy front, and then I spoke to Andrew backstage. He told me about some cool things that I want to know if you guys make progress on. But yeah, I think the last thing I want to lead this segment with is the question of take it or leave it, right? So I guess I'll let you ask the question, and then you ask me a question.
Yep.
Essentially, would you take it or leave it, right? And I'll ask you one, and you ask me one, right?
Okay.
Based off what I've learned from you, I want to know would you nano banana, take it or leave it?
Leave it for now.
We don't need it. Is that what you're?
Not yet.
Not yet, right?
It's not that it's bad. It's just I don't like the way it's implemented.
Yeah. And on a user level, it's amazing, right?
Absolutely.
So, like I'm having so much fun with it.
You take it.
But,
It's fine.
yeah,
I'll leave it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then, do you have anything across, Web3 or AI or quantum that you have the question that you want from a regular consumer?
Yeah. Let's talk crypto. We didn't even talk about Argentum's foray into Web3 and crypto, but we'll save that for another episode. But crypto ETFs.
Take it for sure. I don't know, like so I was having dinner with this brilliant guy 2 days ago, and he was telling me, he was explaining a problem to me, right? He was like, now that crypto is so institutionalized, everyone's talking about it, governments around the world, blah blah blah. How do we get the people who don't understand it to invest in us, right? And then he came out with this elaborate scheme and basically made the problem a bit more complicated, in my opinion. And then I was like, why would I do that when as a consumer, I could just go into Robinhood or my Fidelity and just buy a crypto ETF? Like, I think it's a first step for someone like a non-native to take. And I'm happy with it. I want your opinion as well.
I'm definitely for it. I think, one of the things, and we get asked a lot about why a token, and we haven't settled on when and how, but the easy answer is it makes investing in AI from a speculative side pretty easy.
Yeah.
Right? You just want to buy some Argentum token.
Exactly.
It's a few bucks. You can buy you can buy in fractions of token. You don't have to buy a $400 share of Apple or Microsoft or Nvidia or whatever. And Nvidia is trading at 185 or something on U.S. stock market as we're doing this
Yeah.
podcast. You don't have to spend 185 bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a big spend, but
Mhm.
you could come in with $100
No, 100%.
and invest in.
That's the problem a lot of people have is they feel like they've missed the boat on a lot of the AI and the major plays like Palantir and Nvidia and the rest. But yeah, giving them a fraction of that opportunity and through Argentum, like giving them access to the industry without having them shell out hundreds of dollars in order to be able to be involved is
Yeah, and with the other thing, and I'll maybe Andrew will come on and tell you more about this. We're trying to get GPU entrepreneurs. That's the new sort of like alternative market that we're
Yeah.
pitching. You have excess compute to sell. Well, you sell it, and that's how you're going to make money off your idle compute time,
yeah,
right? But
Really?
that can also get paid in crypto or rewarded in crypto.
yeah,
And so
Brilliant,
it
yeah.
will probably, for most US-based things, get rewarded in fiat, and then it'll get paid in fiat and rewarded in crypto.
I know, but this is the other way around.
No, that's how it's going to. Well,
Oh.
I would probably pay you in fiat.
Yeah,
But if you do a lot of projects for me, then we have like a reserve of not burned tokens that you get
very cool.
for like being a really reliable user, getting a good rating.
Yeah,
But it allows you to speculate on AI twice.
yeah, love that. Well, Clark, thank you so much for joining
thank
me.
you very much.
For joining the pod.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. I learned so much.
This podcast, take it.